Hello there, my name is Maggie, otherwise known as the reincarnation of the USS Midway. It is an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance today. We will be watching the insane history of War Thunder. I have only played War Thunder a few times here on stream, and I did like it, but my chat has always told me that War Thunder, ooh, so I'm very curious as to why that's the case. I'm excited to learn why you guys always say that. And yeah, if this is your first time coming here on the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. I do these live over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Maggie_41. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy. And do not worry, let's get the show on the way, okay? I'm just gonna go straight into it. I'm really curious. Honestly, truthfully, I'm really curious to see. Starting off with 116,000 negative posts compared to 8,000. Sounds about right.
Over 100,000 negative reviews in a week. Longtime players saying they hate the game.
This game, I'm actually sick of this game. Game's broken. Being broken.
And a studio so greedy that its players unionize against it. But what if I told you that this is currently one of the most played games ever, ranking top 20 on Steam? How did War Thunder turn from a beloved flight simulator into this addictive, money-making hellscape? Why, despite it getting worse with every update, do we keep coming back?
Oh, that sounds like Overwatch.
It was 2009.
It sounds like Overwatch. And
people were still arguing about which console was better.
Yeah.
And multiplayer shooters were blowing up.
Yeah.
Those were simpler times.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
The gaming market was growing exponentially. The flight simulator genre back then was dying. People wanted to play a realistic plane combat simulator, but the entry difficulty of those games was way too high. They weren't fun to play.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Gaijin, which in the past was a pretty unknown indie company, recognized this demand and had an idea. Something simple. But
yeah, sounds about right.
Changed everything. They held out their helping hand to players.
Oh, speaking of Overwatch, I knew it!
The authentic new World War II plane simulator. World of Planes? Like World of Warplanes? And World of Tanks? Doesn't this name sound very similar to Gaijin's competitor Wargaming? That's also what players thought. They kept mixing them up, so Gaijin renamed the game to War Thunder.
Yay!
In
That's cute.
They opened beta testing for this bad boy.
That's cute. I didn't know that.
As a World War II flying simulator. It had the nations USA, USSR, Germany, Britain, and Japan. All had a ton of planes with realistic flight physics and detailed cockpits. But Gaijin was far from finished. They also added tanks. If you get annoyed of constantly dying as a plane,
I'm tired of this shit, man. I'm not waiting for the next one. I'm just gonna go.
You could switch vehicle type and start constantly dying as a tank.
Woo!
Game.
All of that in the same match and in high quality. This was something completely new, and all of that.
Wow, why does that like?
Free?
Why does that like?
Free, actually.
Their
early money-making method was pay to progress.
I I just looked at that gameplay and I'm like, wow, that's exactly this type of gameplay I just played like on stream last time I played War Thunder. Wow.
They had a premium subscription that gave you more experience points and more of the in-game money Silver Lions, or premium vehicles. These live outside of the tech tree, their progression system. You can buy them at any point, and higher tiers have higher rewards, so they also made you progress faster. Even if you played without a premium subscription, it wasn't very difficult to progress at all though. There were 20 ranks in each nation, and once you leveled up in a nation, you could instantly buy all the vehicles of that rank. All of these options seemed like a balanced way of a free-to-play game to monetize. They were offering players to get to the content they were here for quicker, for a fair price. Nobody would have guessed that just a few years later, 70% of players would give them a predatory rating for their profit strategy. But let's not worry about that right now.
Jumping in high ranks is a bad idea. You need to learn.
Gaijin had solved the problem of the genre, making their game accessible to more than just hardcore fans. Because of all that, in the year of its release, War Thunder already won the Best Simulator Game prize at the Gamescom. Nothing could ever ruin this.
But it did.
Gaijin was still a company. A company that wanted to sustain itself, grow, and take the souls of their players. Be profitable.
Yeah.
So Gaijin
True.
started to dream bigger than offering a very good World War II simulator. Player,
May I have some oats?
no. I am poor player. As am I, brother. What made War
I love
Thunder
that meme.
and its success
No.
was that you didn't have to pay for anything.
May I have some
It
oats?
was still free to play. So the only way Gaijin could get more money was to make the players want to give them money. They had to make paying for the game so attractive that players couldn't help but pay for it.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Yep.
They had a two-step plan. First, and this sounds harmless, a good wholesome move that only benefits players, they started adding more content. They put
Wow.
updates like
Crazy.
1.43, which is most notable for adding a large number of vehicles, or 1.45, which also added a ton of content, among that American ground vehicles. They kept adding lots of vehicles, so already 1.5 years after release, they won the world record for most planes in a simulator game on the 28th of June 2014.
300 plus.
Let me just
Jesus.
say, they were taking their plans seriously.
Right.
Kept people playing. If someone unlocked all the trees, the progression that hooked players and made them come back would be gone. More
Oh.
content made sure that there was always another vehicle to look forward to. Also made the players more likely to pay for quick progression, because there was more to progress through. In 2015,
Yeah.
players started feeling the first major changes.
Oh?
Do you want to get the new Cold Steel 1.51 update? To expand on World War II content?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
expand on World War II content.
Yeah.
Receives Cold War vehicles? They had removed the 1955 cutoff date, adding vehicles from after World War II. But this already caused controversy among the players. By officially going beyond the 1955 cutoff date, they
Yeah.
also added Heat FS, high explosive anti-tank fin stabilized. Heat FS shells neutralized the main selling point of heavy tanks, that they could absorb front hits.
Oh, that
And
makes
people
sense.
who like to play with heavy tanks were instantly destroyed. They even
Yeah.
started calling them cheat FS. So half of the players were
Yeah.
very disappointed because this changed the gameplay. People said that it reduced the strategic aspect of the game and dumbed it down. The other half of players was also disappointed because a Heat FS against a World War II tank, this is not a matchup that has happened in the history of ever.
Yeah.
Players were right. This is not realistic. Why
Right.
would Gaijin, a simulator, do that? Did they just betray everything they as a simulator stood for?
I mean,
The idea Gaijin had hacked. The simple
the right off the back, by adding like World War II stuff, like past World War II stuff, like yeah, I mean, I can't blame them. Like, you know, after a while, there's only so much World War II crap you can do. And like, but like, there should have been a much more simple like progression towards it. Yeah, they didn't add it as a second game mode. Well, I guess maybe at first not, but like they definitely should have. They should have made it so like post World War II, like everything does that. Like post World War II stuff should be like in its own separate plane. Like literally, like imagine taking some ship or some plane or some tank or whatever from the beginning of World War II, and you're fighting something that is 15 years later. Of course, it's not gonna be balanced unless you buff the absolute crap out of the World War II early on vehicles. That is not gonna happen. Like, come on, easy balancing. Like,
thing that had changed everything into
granted, this was during a time where balancing these types of games was kind of newish. I feel like, you know, live service games were a little bit foreign still, I think, at this point. But like, I mean, live service games, like, what game isn't a live service at this fucking point?
2009 was realizing
Like,
that all
yeah.
other simulator games were too realistic, too tedious to learn. War Thunder aimed for realism while being fun and easy to learn. So War Thunder hadn't betrayed this. They were trying to give a realistic experience.
That was around
while
what
still
times?
being something fun.
2015? Yeah.
But some players found that with this decision about Heat FS, they had made the game either unbalanced or too unrealistic. Not everyone was happy. War Thunder sits somewhere between realism and fun, and every player has a different idea of how that should be.
Yeah, that's true.
Viewpoints set the stage for the turbo illegal classified document leaks that War Thunder is famous for. Though the situation
Yeah.
was still missing something.
Yeah, tons of leaks? How?
Pressure. A lot of pressure. And it would come from Gaijin's growth plan. All this content...
Nah,
made
you're
it
wrong.
time
At least
consuming
talking
and
about an
tedious
F4
to
Phantom.
get
Yeah.
higher-ranked vehicles. Players, like poor decision makers, were already complaining about this back then. But you can definitely say that this was a much more chill discussion and smaller problem. People were starting to feel all that content, but it wasn't terrible. Before Gaijin would double down on their step,
The game is still paying?
they added
Yeah.
another round of content.
I mean, I was playing it. It wasn't terrible, but, like, I could see the problem.
Had ground battles, and what was missing? Water. That's why Gaijin announced naval battles. They had previously done well with planes and tanks, so players hoped for a strong competitor to World of Warships.
It wasn't.
Not so much.
Right.
Naval had very small ships compared to their counterpart, World of Warships, and tough mechanics like aiming the missile based on your and the other ship's momentum. On top of that,
Yeah.
the map design for
I
this
bet,
game
I bet you
mode was
they will
plain.
add carriers. I
With
remember when they said
absolutely
they never
no storm
did.
protection,
Yeah.
Nor cover for your ship, so you couldn't use any strategies or tactics for this game mode. All these problems caused a huge decline in the player base of this new game mode, to the point where most lobbies were just full of AI bots instead of real players.
That sounds about
But
right,
hey,
though.
we're still in the testing phase of Naval. We'll come back to this.
No.
On the 20th of December 2016, Gaijin also officially released War Thunder as a full game. In May 2017, they
I would,
added
like, say, like,
nationally,
as a
and
ship
6
girl, I
months
want the
later,
naval to
in
be
November
good, but
2017,
no.
we had France. Now finally, it was time to fully commit to step 2 of their plan to monetize and grow. They had already been increasing the amount of content to work through. Now it was time to start making the grinding speed through the content much slower.
Yep, here we
In
go.
September 2017.
Yep.
Update 1.71,
Yep.
ironically called New Era, introduced an entirely new level of tanks in the tech tree, rank 6 tanks. These tanks were again more modern and stronger than all of the older World War II tanks. What was the problem? Higher ranks in War Thunder have increasing costs for researching and buying upgrades.
Yep.
The higher in the tech tree you get, the more expensive it gets to buy and upgrade a new vehicle.
Yep.
On top of that, when you buy a new vehicle, it will start without modifications, and it will be whack. This lowers your performance and you earn fewer rewards. This makes it tough to upgrade because you have less currency.
Yep.
Which again means your vehicle is bad, which again means you get less rewards, which again means you can't upgrade, which again means your vehicle is bad, which again
Yep.
means you get less rewards, which again means you can't upgrade,
Yep,
which
yep,
again
yep,
means
yep,
you
yep,
can't,
yep.
and so on.
Hey, it's War
Unlocking
it's
these
War
rank
Warships
six
as well.
was really frustrating.
Except it's
So
like not
keeping
as
it
it's not as bad, but
them
still.
being so frustrating
Not
to
as
play
bad.
was also making it very attractive for players to buy premium or a premium vehicle. So Gaijin just sat back and did nothing about this. For now.
Right.
2018. The game was looking good. To get more players and
Right.
go even further, Gaijin tried a new way of advertising.
Thank you to the realistic free-to-play online game War Thunder for sponsoring this Simple History episode.
This is probably one of the first YouTube sponsorships they've ever done, and This strategy seemed to prove successful because from then on they kept doing these sponsorships. For now, just normal YouTubers though.
Yeah.
Now, Gaijin was feeling
Yep.
probably very
Simple
first
History made some good
for
videos. I
F1.
remember these
They
ads.
released
Yeah.
a outline for the coming update 1.79 Project X, where they wanted to add pre-battle training and modification upgrade. Items that give you an advantage in battle. You could either earn these items or buy them directly on the marketplace. Players felt that it was pay to win because
Well,
you can't
yeah.
even defend this one. It makes for an unfair game and bleeds some players dry. And what's even worse, they also found it unrealistic. This was still a game that advertises with realism, and these upgrades would have skewed the real stats of the vehicle. Yes, War Thunder isn't 100% realistic, which annoys some people, very much so. But
Yeah.
realism is still a central point. Overall,
Yeah.
no good, very bad update.
No, I'm not saying that Warships is worse. I'm just saying that the grind on Warships is still kind of bad.
Fixed all issues related to wanting money, and there was never another controversy in this game again. Is what I would like to say. However, already 4 months later, Gaijin finally responded to the complaints about the high modification costs that had started with the update last year.
Uh-huh.
They didn't change anything. They didn't publish a new update to patch this or reduce the modification cost.
Nope.
Instead, they released a video called Overcoming the Stock Syndrome. And in that video, essentially the studio's reaction to a year of player dissatisfaction about the issue was... The video
Yeah.
was received so poorly that it's now offline. However, Hans Malwurf summarized the core points of War Thunder's message beautifully for us. Get good, kill steal, play in a squad. To the players, it seemed insulting to hear guys
Yeah,
essentially say
that's a
"Still issue"
bad
instead
thing.
of
That's really
addressing
bad.
the problem and changing the game mechanics. The players were furious. They started to spam free FPE and parts everywhere. FPE and parts were both very expensive modifications for your vehicle that took a long time to unlock. They tried to get Gaijin's attention. They also did this during a stream by the studio, where the host picked up on it.
FBE and parts, free FBE and parts, like, and do what, guys? I mean, okay, so we make the, free FBE and parts, and then what's the point of playing the game? You already got a vehicle that can do lots of stuff, so what's the point? Why not give everybody a free Abrams tank to, if we're doing that?
He made fun of the outrage,
Yep.
which is always a good idea.
Yeah, of
He made
course.
fun of the angry mob.
Oh, so forming an angry mob, eh? Who we going after?
The players
Yep.
were not happy, and the clip poured gasoline on the fire. They now spammed it everywhere, more intensely. Well-known YouTubers inside the War Thunder community also joined in.
Yeah, that
making
makes
even
sense.
More people aware of this.
This is
problem.
like so
At
bad.
this
Yeah.
point, the studio realized that they'd gone too far and published a video addressing the concerns.
Economy-wise, we plan to make it easier to get higher-level modifications. In order to be able to unlock second-level modifications, you only have to research a single modification at level 1. This way, for instance, you'd be able to work on your FPE immediately after unlocking parts.
The community has won this battle, and everyone was happy once again. Gaijin learned from this mistake, fixed all issues related to them wanting money, and there was never another controversy in this game again.
Yep.
Is again what I would like to say.
Yep.
Gaijin kept adding content to further their growth. Helicopters, rank 7 tanks, the first jet capable of Mach 2, the playable nations of China and Sweden. But the struggle wasn't over. Aside from adding content, they kept on making it harder to progress. For example, in 2020, the players were complaining about 2 tanks not having armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding savage shells. ATFT shells in their base form.
Yeah.
All other tanks had them.
They did give out the free Abrams. Well, that's good, but like still,
In addition to the other
like come on.
Surprisingly, Gaijin agreed. They were like, yeah, you're right. It's totally unfair for the other tanks to have APFDS shells, and these two don't. You know what?
Jesus.
I'll just remove APFDS shells for a bunch of other tanks to make this fair. No need to say that this was the opposite of what players wanted.
Why would they remove?
One for the other
It's
tanks to be worse and to
it's-
grind harder again.
it's never good to take stuff away from players. What the hell?
And new content in general often had mixed reactions, as players often wanted
Like, why
updates
would you take
more
content
realistic
away?
or
You add more
balanced.
content. Don't try to balance something by
Also,
taking
how's
an
Naval
entire...
In November 2020, with the update New Power, they
Yeah.
finally transitioned to bigger, newer ships, adding true battleships and aircraft carriers. Something people have wanted for a long
Like,
time.
it's, like, really
However,
bad.
It was still not fun, slow, unbalanced, and still didn't have the really cool big ships like Yamato or Bismarck. After 2 years, it's not really looking good for Naval.
It's still not.
Initial YouTube sponsorships had gone well, so Gaijin went crazy with it the following year. On the 16th of September 2020,
Yeah,
they
imagine
first
being
sponsored
Naval.
the YouTuber and also adult model Ifa Elfie in the video How to Meet a Girl. And not to say that this was the reason, but they did reach a new all-time high soon afterwards in November 2020 with 55,000 players on Steam. Hey, I'm not saying that this adult actress sponsorship brought them their record high, but it sure wasn't a Naval update. Kidding aside, War Thunder went a little crazy with the sponsorships around this time. Because soon after, in January 2021,
Fun
they were
terror
accused of
through...
funding terrorism. A YouTuber they had previously sponsored was linked to a terror organization.
Oh, that's
and it was
lovely.
implied that they were behind it. It turned out to be false, though. And to top it all off, on
Okay.
the 6th of May 2020,
Wow, what was that?
sponsored the Russian rapper Morgenstern, I assume it's pronounced, and he made a straight-up music ad video for them. Until I found this, I had never seen anything like this. An artist doing a fully sponsored song, and the best thing about this is that the music video has above 100 million views now. And it's the 4th biggest YouTube video on his channel. Not gonna lie, this is a banger, and I know bangers. Gaijin is still doing sponsorships.
Up,
to
Snip,
this
Smitty,
luring
PewDiePie,
victims. Just
Badger.
track with the YouTube playlist with all the
I like
sponsors.
think I know them all.
On
It's
the
been
4th
bad.
Of July 2021, a player was
I do remember the amount of ads that they had on like YouTubers at that point.
He wanted more realism. More
And it actually got me to like actually want to play, but I don't think I ever did.
classified military documents from the
I think I
challenge
did once, and then I walked into a game, blew up my plane, and I was like, yeah, that's enough of that.
classified, but turned out not to be. Gaijin took them down and said that they would never change anything based on classified documents, because they don't act based on classified information. It was probably a misunderstanding. I'm sure it won't happen again.
Well,
Gaijin were still producing content diligently.
well,
On the 18th of July 2021, a Reddit user counts how many aircraft, including helicopters, War Thunder has, now 7 years after they had gotten their world record for most planes in a simulator. By that point, they had 3x the amount of aircraft, totaling almost 1,000. At this point, they also introduced the playable nation of Israel. In October 2021, 2 players were in a disagreement of what the turret rotation speed of the Leclerc tank should be. So, to win the argument, one player leaked classified documents of the Leclerc twice in a year. What a coincidence. Please take it down again, and Gaijin said,
they were like, well, actually, 2 people fighting, some guy comes in, well, actually, bam. What the fuck?
hey guys, chill, don't do this, don't commit treason to your country in our forum here, don't do it because of an argument.
No, 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 no,
If
no.
you want us to remodel anything, we won't change anything, we do not encourage this behavior, wherever you get them from, just stop, okay? Good. Then came
Hello?
another classified document leak in June 2022. On January 16, someone leaked the F-16.
Yep, there's the
manual.
F-16 one, yep.
And then 2 days later, someone leaked 13 documents of the F-15E Strike Eagle. Then 4 days later, someone leaked the Su-57's radar.
What the fuck is happening?
What's happening?
Yeah, what the hell is
3 leaks
happening?
in 1 week? That's insane. I can't believe this.
I
Why
can't
is this
believe
even
this.
happening
Okay,
first?
typical YouTuber noise, but oh my god, this is the most insane thing ever.
More entry for January 2023. It's another leak. What the actual? You know what's the craziest thing?
Oh my
as far as I
God.
know, it has never happened in history that state classified documents were leaked just to change a game or win an argument about it. There are tons of games.
That
out
is
there,
so
and
funny.
You can't find anything similar.
People are so
But
petty.
This turbo illegal thing happened 4 times in 2 weeks. It's exclusive to this game. Why? War Thunder's goal of keeping people hooked was working.
The grind and progression time were so huge, people have thousands of hours in the game. These people are very, very...
Dude, try to
invested.
leak F-22?
That
God,
invested,
fuck.
You can get angry in a fight or emotional about how a vehicle is modeled. So when these players felt something ruined their fun or realism, they wanted it changed. War Thunder's Wikipedia has an entire section and table on classified document leaks. This wouldn't have happened if War Thunder was a casual
So
fun to play
funny.
in my free time instead
No,
of
it said
a
I was classified
use my
documents.
soul to
Yeah,
snail
please
type of
don't.
game. And Gaijin was about to make it worse again.
You're like, please
They
don't
dropped a
use
new
this.
update that increased repair costs by up to 10,000 silver lions. That was the last drop. This, on top of everything Gaijin had been doing in the past years. Every single shift towards pushing the players into paying to progress.
How much was repairs
The grind
before?
still being so tedious. It had gone from pay to progress faster to pay to progress at all. And even if you paid, you still progressed extremely slow.
Yeah.
The players started a massive online campaign. They
Holy shit.
unionized. War Thunder had just surpassed
Around 5K and then put it up to 10?
Steam players
Jesus.
prior, a new all-time high, so a lot of people were invested in this. The Union got its own subreddit with over 25,000 members.
Nearly
This is a
30.
message that Gaijin couldn't ignore. They decided to review bomb the game on Steam. In just a few days,
Yep.
they left over 100,000 negative reviews,
Yep.
plummeting the game's overall review score to overwhelmingly negative.
Yup.
It wasn't just Steam, Google, Metacritic, Xbox reviews, everything. Even their YouTube videos were disliked. Eventually, news articles started picking up on the story, and everyone in the scene was talking about it. So, what did Gaijin do? First, they removed the Steam icon from their website, so people looking to download the game don't end up seeing the bad reviews. But
Right.
that wouldn't be a long-term solution. That's like closing the door on your burning house
Right.
and pretending all is fine. This was the biggest reaction they had ever gotten. With the review bombing not stopping, they reverted the changes. But it wasn't over. The player union wasn't satisfied with just having things go back to the way they were before. And in fear of truly losing players, Gaijin acted. They announced a roadmap of changes on how they would revise the economy and the grind, trying to follow player sentiment and make the whole game better. People were genuinely happy with the changes because it seemed like Gaijin would actually listen for once. But would Gaijin also follow up on the changes? More than 2 years later. It's now 2025. First of all, how do players feel about Gaijin? In January, Gaijin had announced the auction house, where you could buy cosmetics with real money. Nothing else, just cosmetics. It was received very poorly, with
I could imagine.
immediate backlash.
Yeah,
and
duh.
Players worried about how long it would take until you could straight up buy vehicles from there. Gaijin pretty much killed the idea afterwards, but we can see that when Gaijin just proposed the idea of a place where they one day might offer pay-to-win items, it caused a huge reaction.
Yeah, no shit.
It hasn't been restored.
No shit.
The actual changes, were they implemented? Are the players happy now? War Thunder's players want two things: realism and fun, but in different amounts, with their own preferences. No change, no single game will satisfy everyone. I know I spoke of Gaijin as the evil villain a lot, but realistically, someone will always be unhappy. I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
saying
duh.
Gaijin is innocent. Gaijin
That's
is
everything.
out of touch because they don't know what it feels like to grind with premium and still make no progress. Longtime players say they hate the game, but they can't quit. They're hooked. Gaijin probably wants that to a degree.
I
doubt
mean,
there's
yeah.
a mastermind counting how many people are addicted to the game.
That makes
rubbing
sense.
his hands in a dark room, but it is in their business interest to keep people playing and paying for the game. 2 years later, some players give Gaijin surprisingly decent follow-through scores on the roadmap. At least they tried. Not all of Gaijin's actions are pure evil, but they can't implement every suggestion or wish of every player. Also because it's hard to balance fun, realism, and monetization. A lot of what they do is problematic. I'm just saying, it's not completely black and white. It never is.
But still.
I wasn't nearly able to cover everything insane about this game. If you want more,
Yeah, but still. Okay, so let me get this straight. The entire thing when it comes to War Thunder is that oh my fucking god. First off, crazy. It's actually crazy to think about. But, like, what are they doing? Like, I get it. There's a whole reason, like, you know, like, I know they're trying to keep people from playing and things like that. But, like, one of the things that you do not do is you take away things that people grinded their asses off for. They're just like, oh, well, this thing up here is too hard to get. Oh, don't worry, we just removed that on everything you have. Like, what? It's like, huh? Yeah, grinding for something and then it just gets removed the next day and never seen again. Like, what the fuck? I would get pissed. I would not come back to the game if that was it. Like, if I woke up next day and I saw that, like, my inventory was just completely empty or, like, my upgrades were just completely, like, voided, God, I'd be done. I understand people getting absolutely hooked over, these types of games. I mean, looks at me with my nearly 10,000 hours of probably Overwatch. I fucking hate Overwatch, but I kept playing it. Because it was addicting as fuck. But, like, yeah, so, but still, like, at least Overwatch didn't take something away from your inventory. Like, I'm okay. Well, no, I'm not okay. None of this is okay. But, like, thinking of it as, like, you know, oh, well, you're just not going to be able to get that type of thing for now. Like, until, like the cutoff date on, like, future planes and tanks having upgrades, it's like the certain upgrade is, like, no, like, valid, like, you can't get it, like, anymore. I guess that's, like, fine. But obviously that goes into unbalancing, because you're giving something a different variety, a different version or a different level of a tank, and you're giving them a bit of ability that the older tanks the newer tanks can't have, the stronger tanks can't have. So all of a sudden, like, why would you even grind the freaking tier 7, tier 8, tier 1 billion if you could just have a tier 6 that has the stuff you want on it already, and then just do fucking nothing? Like, see, that's like the thing. But what they did instead of doing that is that they took away shit. That's how you get people to stop. It's like when you take away shit. Like, come on. Do better. That being said, thank you for joining me on this. Learned a little thing about War Thunder, and oh my god. Like, I want to play it, but jeez, these videos really make it seem like I shouldn't. But thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, my YouTube buddies, for hanging out. If you want to see this live, please make sure to check out twitch.tv/Maggie_41, where I go live and do these. But if not, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can always see every reaction and video that I upload. Take care. Fallout!